We have seen functions in previous videos, but what are really functions for? In basic terms, a function is a block of code that performs various tasks. Should you need to, a function can be called and reused numerous times. To define a function in Solidity, we use the keyword function, followed by a unique name, a list of parameters, empty or not, and a statement block surrounded by curly braces. Solidity knows two kinds of function calls: internal ones that do not create an actual EVM call, also called a message call, and external ones that do. Because of that, there are four types of visibility for functions and state variables. External functions are part of the contract interface, which means they can be called from other contracts and via transactions. An external function cannot be called internally. Public functions are part of the contract interface and can be either called internally or via messages. Internal functions can only be accessed internally from the current contract or contracts that inherit from it. This is the default visibility level for state variables. Private functions and variables are only visible for the contract they are defined in. So in terms of visibility, we can have public, private, internal, and external functions. But we also have to consider the behavior of the function. And for that, we have three more keywords: pure, view, and payable. We can also have modifiers and returns. This is a lot to take in, but let's concentrate on the visibility. Let's see some examples. We have this contract C, and here we can see that for variables, the visibility specifier is given after the type for state variables. For functions, the visibility specifier is given between parameter list and return parameter list. In this contract, we have this private function, and that means that the function is accessible only inside this contract. We have a public function that will be accessible from other contracts, and this internal function that is accessible in this contract and child contracts. Now we have this contract D, where inside the read data function we are instantiating the C contract and we try to access the F function that is private. But as you already might know, this will give us an error because F is not visible. So after compiling, we get this error: member F not found or not visible, because the function is private. I just changed the assignment of the local variable inside the read data function. Now let's try to compile to see what happens when calling the compute function inside the read data. As you can see, the compute function is also not available inside the D contract because compute is internal and D is not a child of contract C. But now, with this E contract, we are inheriting from C when using the keyword is. Is allows E to inherit functionality from C. Now we are assigning the result or return value of the compute function to the uint val variable. The compute function receives two uints, A and B, and it returns the sum of both. So val will be the sum of 3 plus 5. And as I said, because the function is defined in the contract C as being internal, it can be used inside its child contract E. Now I changed the F function a bit. I added this add function that is external, and inside the compute function we are actually calling the add function and assigning the result to the val function and returning this val function. In the contract E, we are also using the add function and assigning the result to this another val variable. Let's compile to see what happens. As you can see, we get this declaration error that says that the add function is not visible at this point, so this external function add cannot be called inside the contract where it is defined. After commenting the compute function and this line inside the e-contract, let's see if we can use the add function inside this contract. Now, as you can see, we get an undeclared identifier error. So this means that external functions have to be called from, if you will, unrelated contracts. This is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. In the next one we will be talking about the pure and view functions. So see you then. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can be notified when I upload the next video. Thanks for watching.